Hi. I'm just recording this because I just want to tell people a little bit about what I went through with my mum with DNR discussion. Because my mum's got dementia. She's in a care home. She's been in a care home for about 5 years. And I think the discussions I've had with my mum's care team have been really good. And I just wanted to explain a little bit about what happened, because I think lots of people will be having similar discussions or should be having similar discussions, and from what I've read in the media, isn't always being done right. So there's links in my blog post as well, which I will put up again with this video. So the key thing is that the discussions I've had with my mum have been over a number of years and repeated. It's like you don't just have one discussion. And it wasn't even really called a DNR discussion. It was called a treatment escalation discussion. And so what I did was talk about what sort of treatment would be available if mum had cancer, or what treatment would be available if she had a heart attack. What treatment's available when someone dies, what happens when someone dies of old age. And they were the questions that I asked. I was kind of almost prompted to ask, really, looking back. I think we had like 3 main discussions about this. And it was sort of part of care plan review and that sort of thing. And so the thing is the key questions that I got answered, and so I would suggest people ask is, how would the treatment affect my loved one? So how would CPR affect my loved one? Most likely, none of us got crystal ball, but what would be the most likely outcome? What would be the most likely outcome of cancer treatments? What would be the most likely outcome of respirators? Now, I hadn't had that discussion about respirators. I hadn't talked about pneumonia in relation to my mum. So when the COVID outbreak came, I had a long conversation and emails. I sent an email with loads of questions as well. But the key question is how would it affect my mum with her particular health profile and her age and everything. And so I'm not going to give you details of the discussions. I don't want people to extrapolate, that was right for Jane's mum, so that will be right for mine. No, it's really got to be individual. And so in relation to my mum, I decided that I would sign a DNR on her behalf. I've got power of attorney. She hasn't got capacity. If she did have capacity, she'd have to be included in the conversation, but she didn't. But when she did have capacity, and when we were sorting out power of attorney, my mum told me that she didn't want to end up as a vegetable, and please protect her from that as much as I could. And that's really helped me make decisions, because where I signed the DNR, it was because for my mum, with her particular health issues and her age, that the interventions would most likely mean that she would end up as a vegetable. And also the especially with CPR, she most likely die, and it would be a horrible death. It would be really frantic and frightening and possibly painful. So that's why. But within those discussions, there was what treatment would be given to her instead. And so that's the thing. It's not just what you're not going to do, it's what you're going to do. And I think that's a really important part of treatment escalation discussion. And really a DNR is part of a treatment escalation discussion, or it should be, in my opinion. I think that is good practice, and that's what I experienced, and so therefore it wasn't at all traumatic. These discussions were a relief and not traumatic at all, and supportive. So if my mum was in the community still, my question would be what treatment would be given in the community if it turned out to not be right to send my parent to hospital, if that was in the best interests of the individual, then what would be arranged. And I think that this is the thing that worries me in light of COVID, is that and even in care homes, because oxygen sometimes would be necessary in the community, and there's loads of palliative medicines. There's 4 main ones that my care team for my mum has told me about, and would they be given timely? Now in a care home there's more chance of that, I think, because there's so many links with the NHS, or there is with my mum's care home, and there should be with all care homes. But in the community it worries me a bit. Would an elderly person be on the phone to 111 for ages to get their medications? So in light of this pandemic, I think we need to be questioning our care providers, asking them what care would be given in the community, and how would it be arranged, and would it be timely, and would it be supported? Are the NHS being supported to give this care, and are care homes being supported to give this care? And that's it. Okay, I hope that's helped. 3 questions, and I'll put a little bit in a blog post as well. I hope that's helped people with all this about DNR and stuff. Okay, bye.